And it's so freaking cold. Oh my god. So I had a new moment today, okay? And I'm gonna tell you what it was. So Lewis is telling me it's snowing outside, and I look outside of the window. And when I'm looking outside of the window, I look in the ground, and there's no pile of snow. So I tell him, I said, "No, it's not snowing. It's just raining." And he walks outside and he tells me, "What are you talking about, Erica? It's snowing." And I look outside and he tells me that the way that snow falls, it goes sideways, I'm assuming, something like that. And I was just thinking to myself, oh, geez, I thought, okay, this is going to sound really terrible, you guys, but I thought snow was going to be bigger than that. When I think about pictures of snow, I imagine like bigger snowflakes, I imagine. Snow looks like freaking lint balls. Yeah, yeah, it's just yeah, it's so fine that it looks like little lint balls going outside, but it's not creating any snow piles. So it's snowing outside, and I did not realize it's snowing. It's just one of those moments that maybe it's because I lived in Hawaii for so long that when I look out the window and when I see small little particles, I think, oh yeah, it's just drizzling or it's just raining hard. It didn't dawn on me that snow falls sideways. So anyway, so it's snowing outside and it's cold, and we have the heat on, but it's still freaking cold. I don't know what the temperature is inside. I think we have the heat on at like 70 degrees or so. But uh, yeah. Yeah, no, you guys get the view of my blanket right now. I'm trying to stay underneath for it. I'm freezing. I'm freezing right now. But yeah, so we have the heat on, and I'm still cold. My hands ice cold over here, and maybe we turn on the heat even higher, but I just get cold super easily, so I have to. I don't know if you guys saw the stream the quality content video. I think Lewis posted either yesterday or today. I had my winter jacket on. I've had my winter jacket on all basically all day, and I'm gonna throw some mittens on even though I'm indoors because I'm so cold. And yeah, it's just once I got to the side of the apartment, I thought, holy crap, it's really freaking really cold. It's really cold. So oh, I have Pocky right now. So anyway, the reason why I made this little stream is, although I am complaining about the cold, and I'm not too happy about the temperature right now. I was supposed to go diving yesterday, but it was cold, and I asked people. I said, "Hey, is anybody going out diving?" And nobody said anything. So I'm imagining there are less divers out there because, well, it's freaking cold. It's getting cold, and if you sit outside trying to untie like trash bags and stuff like that, you have to take your gloves off. There's really no way around it, especially for the tightly wound trash bags. And yeah, just there's been moments that I think it was like last month or so. It was really cold, and once I took my glove out, my hand felt like it was frozen. But anyway, the whole point of this whole stream is, even though I'm complaining about it being really cold and me needing to get my mittens and things like that, we have the heat on. And I know that there are some places in some buildings in New York that don't have heat running right now because the heat is broken. And nitro buildings, I believe, are notorious for not having heat running. I think they just said this one building on Upper West Side or Upper East Side. I can't remember where it was exactly, but definitely in Manhattan. They said that last winter, allegedly, like they didn't have any heat. So I can't imagine going through like a whole winter without having heat, because right now we have heat and I'm freezing my butt off. It just makes me feel very thankful that we do have running heat. And it's like the small little things that I just think like, geez, it just bugs me how cold it is right now. But if we didn't have any of the heat on, it'd be unbearable. And there are people that live without the heat, and they, especially if they have like small children around, and you know how children, I imagine, can get really fussy if it gets cold. I'm already fussy, and I'm 32, so yeah, I hope that heat issues get resolved. I don't know if there's any people who aren't running the heat because of electricity costs, but geez, if anybody doesn't have heat right now in winter and it's cold, like I really hope that the heat works, or you guys stay nice and warm because it's freaking cold. Yeah, so I remember reading about those stories where people said they would use these like portable heaters to stay warm, and then if they would put like a whole bunch inside of their apartment because their heat wasn't working, and then or worse, what people would do is they would keep the stove on for hours. They would boil water in the kitchen and then run up their gas bill, I believe. Was it the gas? I can't remember, gas or electric. They would boil water instead, and that isn't safe. Keeping a pot of water boiling on the stove for an hour is very, very dangerous. It's not the way to stay warm. I've seen I believe in our gas bill, they say something like, yeah, don't leave water unattended in an attempt to stay warm. And it just, yeah, right now it's cold. I imagine that there are people who might be living near us who are turning on, who are boiling water on the stove if their heat doesn't work. And yeah, it's pretty, sobering and depressing to think about that. But um yeah, the building maintenance in some buildings aren't that great, or finances are tight for a number of individuals this winter, especially with the situation. So yeah, yeah, no, it's black. I'm freaking cold, and I'm staying underneath this comforter. I'm underneath a comforter. I'm nice and warm right now. At least my hands are like half warm, half cold. Yeah, I told myself, I'm just gonna stay underneath the comforter and do a black stream for now. But, and then I also have blackberry on the bed as well. Oh, it's so cold. So, yeah, I kind of wonder how I don't know how the homeless are treated during this time. I hope, like, if they're all going off to shelters. I'm not too familiar with it. I just think, geez, it must be absolutely brutal. I've also realized that for my, I post things for free and pick up things for free. It's the way things are with this weather. I noticed there's a lot less people interested in picking things up, and it's not just for me. It's like for other people too. I think it's because when it gets this cold, like you don't want to make a trip for something um, like, oh, I want to pick up like a plate or like two plates from you, and you're half a mile away in this kind of temperature. Yeah, most people, they walk or they bike, and it just gets freaking cold. So I have things that I need to get rid of, and it's based on the temperature. It's going to be hard to kind of get rid of things how I was originally planning. I notice people are kind of tapering down. Yeah. The warming store. Yeah, we have I got those little heat pack things, the stuff that goes in your gloves. That's something. And we have heated gloves too. I think I got Lewis one of those. It has battery pack inside of there. It's supposed to heat your fingers up. And then yeah, that's about it. I'm going to definitely take out my snow boots today. Just because if you guys remember how it was in Maine for me. Okay, listen to this. When we went to Maine, it was snowing, I think, only one time. I can't remember. Yeah, I think I brought my winter boots with me. I think we went to Maine like 2 or 3 times. Let's just say three. For 2 times, I brought my snow boots, right? And on the third time, I thought, hell with it. I don't want to bring my snow boots with me. So I didn't bring the snow boots. And then that during that time, I slipped, and my ass fell onto some very slippery chunk of ice, yeah, on the sidewalk, and I didn't realize how slippery freaking snow is. So yeah, I'm gonna whip out my snow boots today, get my winter gear on, bring my gloves and my hat and my scarf, and just start bundling up already. I don't know how it's gonna be in the later tonight, but I need to start kind of stocking up on my winter gear. So, yeah, those things, the warming store. Oh, cool, battery packs. Ah, yeah, I heard those heat packs only work for about 30 minutes or so. I know they have the reusable ones that I was reading about. They say something like you're supposed to boil in a water. However, they only work for a good 20 minutes. But if I had it for 20 minutes, it wouldn't even last me that long. If I go anywhere, just one way would be about 20 minutes or 40 minutes. So that's not gonna work very well. I think it's Fahrenheit. I think it's Fahrenheit. Whatever temperature it is in Hawaii, minus like 30 from there, because I think probably it's like in the 60s right now. Yeah, look at what the temperature is in Hawaii right now. I think it's Fahrenheit. If it's like 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, I miss Hawaii's temperature. You know, even like for me, I'm such a weak sauce, you guys. Like for Hawaii, even in the winter, I get cold as hell. And that's like in the low 60s or like 65 degrees. If you guys watch the weather report of Hawaii, people would say stuff like, "Yeah, make sure you have a blanket, or you bundle up and wear a jacket because it's getting really cold." And you look at the temperature, it's like 68 degrees. Like, brr, do you feel that winter chill right now? Yeah. So that's why yeah, look it up. Look it up. Look at the Hawaii weather report in the wintertime. You're gonna start seeing the news people talking about how cold we get. So it is yeah, people in Hawaii, from my experience, we tend to be very intolerant to the cold weather, and we tolerate heat a lot better. I tolerate heat definitely better than Lewis, but when it comes to cold, I'm an absolute weakling over here. Like, look at me underneath this comforter. Like, I'm so cold. I wear a blanket to my Zoom meetings and no one cares. Well, you know what? I feel like it's very important to have a blanket with you anywhere. There's a number of office workers that if they work, they just kind of have a blanket around them or on their lap. That's what I've seen in Hawaii. Here it's 70 and that's cold for me. Oh, bounce. Knock off like 30 degrees and that's New York right now. Oh, my body freezes at like 67 degrees around there. It gets like really, really cold for me. I'm like, I don't want to go out. I don't want to go out. But I need to go out. Yeah. Was I talking at some point? Me? I don't know. Oh, I'm so cold. I should label the stream as Erica's a complete weakling when it comes to winters in New York. So I think like not half, but maybe like 30% of my closet side is filled with winter gear. And now I'm kind of wishing I stocked up on more winter gear. Let's see, how many jackets do I have? I have four winter jackets. Yeah. I think I have four winter jackets. And then I got one like hoodie of sorts, not some like vest thingy majingy. No, I got five winter jackets. I got five winter jackets this winter. I think last winter I only had two, so yeah. Oh, JP had me muted. JP's probably thinking, oh, Erica was just streaming a black and white screen. Okay, see? Oh, it's so cold. Oh, jeez, it's cold. Okay. So, my fingers felt the air and I want to go back. So, can you guys explain something to me? How can you have the heat indoors and it's supposedly like about 60, 68 degrees. Let's just say 70 degrees, right? But then when the outside is 34 degrees, the inside heat feels substantially colder. Is it because it's the heat is going out, or is it because the outside temperature is kind of cooling off the heat inside? How does it work? How does it work? I don't know, because it's like I would think that the way heat should work is if you set the thermometer at, let's say, 70 degrees, it should stay at a constant 70 degrees. But I can tell you this straight up, it is not 70 degrees in here. Is it like the heat that it releases is supposed to be 70 degrees, but afterwards it's like, I don't know. It's weird because it's so cold outside. It's very noticeable that it's not as warm as it was yesterday. Oh crap! Air leakage. Damn! I imagine it's from part of these crappy ass windows. Uh, 100 degrees. Holy crap! 100 in October. Turn on the fans. Oh, when you have heat on the outside, the humidity goes down, you feel colder. Oh, yeah. I should get a thermometer and feel how cold it is in here right now, but it definitely feels like it's in the low 60s or something. Uh, let's go back under here. Yeah, I don't even want to think about the ACs right now. It's so cold. You know what the crazy thing is? It's so cold, and I saw two no-see-ums today. I was like, oh, what the hell, no-see-ums? Like, just freeze to death already. They say that when it turns like 60 something degrees, the no-see-ums are supposed to be gone. Like 62 degrees, I believe. But the problem is that like these bugs are so small. I imagine that when it gets cold, they're like, frick, let's huddle somewhere in winter. Oh, I know, I'm good. Let's go into any apartment we can. So, it's... Yep, it is 34 degrees, and I killed 2 no-see-ums today. So we have less no-see-ums definitely after I put the citrus away, but there's still a few stragglers around here. And we also see, listen to this, when we come into the building, because we don't live on the ground floor, when we come home at night, we can actually see no-see-ums outside of the front door of the apartment. Yeah, so it's not just our apartment, they're actually waiting outside on ground level, on the glass trying to get in. It's crazy. So these no-see-ums are no joke. Yeah, it's like, gosh, it's something like to see those no-see-ums just kind of perched outside at like 11 p.m. trying to get in. Ugh. Do they bite me more than Lewis and stuff? Okay. This is like TMI, but I'm gonna tell you this, okay? So I've been covered up from basically everything up except my chest, my hands, and my face. All the rest of the time I'm usually wearing like long sleeve, long pants, socks that cover my ankles, so they don't really have that much to bite, right? And then I noticed like these no-see-ums like to hang around in the bathroom for whatever reason. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what the hell, man? Why are the no-see-ums always hanging in the bathroom? Is it because of the mosquito? I mean, is it because of the humidity levels? Like, that could be it, right? Maybe they can sense like there's heat coming from the bathroom, even if we haven't had the shower on for hours. It's like they're instantly just drawn to the bathroom for whatever reason. We have a dehumidifier in there as well, always running. But somehow the no-see-ums always seem drawn to the bathroom. I don't know why. They actually fly through the door because the door is like New York City construction. The door is not straight. There's like it's kind of like at a angle, and then there's like about 1/4 of an inch triangular gap on the on the left hand side. Yeah, you thought doors were perfectly straight rectangles? No, the one side of the door is like 1/4 of an inch shorter than the other side. Like I said, it's a triangle gap. So I've seen these no-see-ums flying into the bathroom because of this freaking hole. And yeah, so I see the no-see-ums flying in. I guess they're flying in from the outside. All they need is a 1 millimeter gap. They fly in and then they make a beeline to the bathroom, and then they get trapped in the bathroom, and I usually spray them with grout cleaner. Now, I realize that if you stay in the bathroom too long, TMI here, right? If you stay in the bathroom too long, they will actually try to bite you. And how do I know? Because I have a bite on my upper thigh, and there is no way that no-see-um would be able to bite through clothes unless they caught me while I was in the bathroom. So yeah, if you are on the bathroom doing your business, sitting on the porcelain throne, just be aware that while your pants are lowered, that the no-see-um might want to bite your butt, and it sucks. So that is another reason why I hate these no-see-ums, and they are just yeah, it's just terrible. So that's one of the reasons why I told you guys, like, I do not want to live in Florida. Florida has a number of no-see-ums. They are also the land of citrus, and I have a theory that citrus attracts no-see-ums. Lemons, limes, oranges, that sort of thing. Like, yeah, that kind of thing. I don't like. I enjoy citrus a lot less after the no-see-um thing, because I think whenever I have citrus out or they smell citrus, they're gonna say, "Hey, she's inviting us back in." I just don't like the no-see-ums, you guys. I really don't like it. So, um, so I have grout cleaner that I keep in the bathroom right next to the toilet, and whenever I'm inside of the bathroom, it's like I'm constantly, on the lookout. It's like my little weapon of choice, and I see them and I spray them with the grout cleaner, and then I kill them with some toilet paper, and then I flush them down the toilet normally. But there's a lot less. It just worries me because winter is not the breeding season for no-see-ums. It's actually summertime. So if I was seeing like about 8 no-see-ums in December, and it's just because I had citrus out, like, how's it going to be like in summer, right? So 100%, like, the citrus cannot be inside of the apartment, or it cannot be outside of the refrigerator during the summertime, because it's going to be too many freaking no-see-ums, and next thing you know, we're going to end up with like 30, 40 no-see-ums in the apartments. Yeah, they like CO2, but they're also attracted to light, so a UV lamp works really well for them. I believe that they're attracted to citrus, and I also believe that it's important to kind of, make sure you close your curtains at night, or try to block out as much as light as you can. Yeah, they also like moist soil. They need moist soil to lay their eggs, and yeah, I got rid of basically all my plants because of these bugs, and it kind of saddens me because I did want to keep some of my plants. No, no, JP, I do not want any of your Florida bugs. You can keep your Florida bugs in Florida. I hear about these bugs in Florida. I'm like, oh, jeez, no. Uh, so, yeah, the bugs in New York, these no-see-ums, they are way worse than any bugs that I have encountered in my life. These no-see-ums are absolutely terrible. They drive me up the wall. It's it's like, it's not like you left food out and they're drawn to that. It's more like they just fly in, and once they fly in, then they want to just drink your blood. No mosquito netting can hold them back because they're that small. It's not like we can just keep mosquito nets and then that's it. Nope. And then with the New York City construction windows, these windows are absolute crap, you guys. We have like one of the windows had a half-inch gap in between. It was crazy. But because of how the windows are made, and you know how the doors made in this apartment. This is like a $2,000 a month apartment, by the way. But because the construction of this apartment is so bad with the windows and the doors, it's like no-see-ums will easily just get in if they want to. I gave up on it, so I gave up on it. So yeah, I just kind of wonder how it's gonna be in summertime, because you know in the summer, right, you gotta open up your windows when it gets cold. I mean, when it gets hot. And we pulled out one of the ACs in the window, and I kid you not, okay, you guys, once we opened the window to pull out the AC, there was a no-see-um right outside the window. Yeah, there was a no-see-um right outside the window, just waiting to get in. Yeah, so I think maybe the no-see-ums might have been using, or might have been yeah, using the AC. You know, because when we took the AC inside, it leaked a lot of water. I have a feeling that the no-see-ums just kind of maybe use the AC as a breeding ground. I'm not too sure about that, but whatever it was, yeah, the no-see-ums were around the AC. Oh, I don't mind geckos. Like Hawaii has geckos. We also have roaches. Geckos are cute. I have nothing against geckos. I take the gecko over the no-see-um any day. Oh goodness, Florida's mostly a swamp. We got bugs. Yeah. Well, yeah. But as far as I know, Hawaii doesn't have no-see-ums. F no-see-ums. I freaking hate no-see-ums. No-see-ums are like, if any of you guys are in Hawaii right now, and you guys deal with, let's say, roaches or mosquitoes or something like that, like the no-see-ums, you guys, is really no joke. It's like I can't stop these no-see-ums. I have to change so much of my habits because of these bugs, and they're coming from the outside, flying inwards. That just sucks. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was a really bad freaking roach thing too. That was like the worst place too. It's like, yeah, it was really bad. I wonder though. I just wonder, like, what state doesn't have that many no-see-ums? Maybe Las Vegas, like Nevada. Maybe Nevada doesn't have any. Yeah, I would take the roaches over the mosquito and no-see-ums any day. You know why? Because the roaches, you can put all these sticky traps. You can bring an exterminator. You're good. The mosquitoes and the no-see-ums are flying bugs. So it's a lot harder to stop them. I don't even know how to stop a 1 millimeter bug. And some of these no-see-ums are like really freaking small. It's like a flying ant of sorts. It's like I can barely see them. That's why they call them no-see-ums. Like the adult ones are the ones I've been spotting. Like they're like a sesame seed size, like a little smaller than a sesame seed, but you can clearly see them. The juveniles, yeah, they're hard to see for sure. But good news is that I'm seeing less and less no-see-ums, and I think I've learned an important lesson. Who knows? Maybe I'll do a stream and I'll say all the tactics to do if you have a no-see-um infestation, or what you can do to avoid that. Yeah. Uh, did you guys know, like, the time I got bit heavily by the no-see-ums? It was, I think I had like 9 bites on my leg from one night, and it was so freaking itchy. Like these bites swelled up to the size of quarters. Like it was that much swelling. No, sure. I wouldn't be surprised if the no-see-um is biting one of the cats. And if they do bite a cat, I wouldn't be surprised if they're biting Oreo, because Oreo's just gonna sleep through all those bites. I hope they aren't though. I've killed a few no-see-ums, and after I smash them, I noticed they have a little blood inside of them. I don't know if where the blood's coming from. I know one bite came from me. Uh, Eat them like fish. There's a problem with that. So the only thing that I could know that eats no-see-um or no-see-um larvae might be something like not a mosquito, like a mosquito fish of sorts. No-see-ums, they breed on soil, so the only way you can stop that from hatching is not have the soil as moist, and that's kind of difficult. You know, there's so much dead and decaying um, um, plant matter all over the place, you know, because there's like trees that are not maintained, there's backyards around here. It's just there's there's standing pools of water. Yeah, it's kind of crappy. Like, I look around and I could see like stagnant water areas. So that's probably where the the no-see-ums and mosquitoes breed. And in case anybody thinks that Oreo will kill a no-see-um, he will not. I've seen the no-see-um land 1 foot away from Oreo, about eye level. He did not do anything. He just stared at it. So yeah, and oh, there's the other thing too. In case you guys didn't know this, no-see-ums, when they fly around, they usually fly in as swarms. When they mate as swarms. So I think that's probably what happened. You know, that time where we had a whole bunch of no-see-ums in the apartment? I think it's because a swarm came into inside the apartment. And then when one bites you, they send off this signal to other no-see-ums like, hey, I just ate something over here. Come over here. Come over here. And then that's why it's so important to stop the no-see-ums from biting you, because if you don't stop it, it just becomes like a feeding ground for these freaking no-see-ums. It absolutely sucks. It's not like a mosquito where one or two bite you and that's about it. These no-see-ums, from what I read, they give off some kind of pheromone signal telling their buddies to also come over and bite you too. So yeah, that's why I got like 9 bites in one night. I was just like, what the hell was this? I thought it was a mosquito bite, you know. And then we saw these little bugs, and then I found out they were biting midges. One person commented, they said, no, you know, you have fruit flies. I'm like, this is not a freaking fruit fly. I can guarantee you that. We have fruit flies in Hawaii, you know, once in a blue moon, and they don't bite you. Fruit flies do not bite you. No-see-ums bite you, and they draw blood. Yep. So, yeah, I'm not going to Florida. I hate the giant cockroaches and things like that, for sure. They call them B-52s in Hawaii. You know, B-52? Yeah. Look that up. B-52. Like, those bugs are terrifying. I hate those bugs. I very, very, very rarely see them in Hawaii. Yeah, what if I got a scent marker? Yeah, I don't know what repels them. Citronella oil does not repel them. Even if I use the oil, it doesn't last that long, so I have to constantly reapply around the apartment. I bought this repel mosquito lemon eucalyptus thing. I did a community post on it. I sprayed it on the blinds, and the freaking bug landed on the blinds, so tells me that freaking repels nothing. If it can't even repel a bug from the blinds, and well, what chance does it have to work on me? So it just sucks. It's like there's really no way to stop the no-see-ums except invest in blinds and then try to seal your place out from no-see-ums. But because this is a rental, there is no way, you know, we could do that. If this was a place that Lewis owned, I would say, you know, 100%. Get the windows redone. Make sure you don't have these windows with like half-inch gaps in them. And it's not because the windows were put in wrong. It's like the construction of these windows are so shoddy. It really is shoddy. Like, for instance, there's like a 1/4 inch gap in between the screen and the window on the top. So a bug can go over the screen, because you know the screen only goes halfway mark at the window. So we have like two windows, right? We have an upper window and a bottom window. The screen only covers the bottom window. So if the bug goes over the screen on the bottom window, which has a 1/4 inch gap, that's how you can still get bugs inside of this place, even with the screen closed. Ladybugs have come in here. Ladybugs are definitely bigger than mosquito netting, but they just climb over this little ledge. So yeah, it's like the freaking worst ass screen I've ever seen in my life. Like Hawaii, we don't have this kind of crappy screen. Well, you know, Hawaii, I've seen apartments. We don't have this kind of shoddy construction. Hawaii people, like sometimes you hear about jobs getting done. They work at a snail's place, but I've never ever seen this kind of shoddy ass construction that I've seen in New York. I mean, how can someone screw up a freaking bathroom door? Like, how do you not have a straight bathroom door? The door itself is not straight. That's the problem, Joseph. So, I mean, they could have shimmed it or something, right? I think you add shims to the frame and then it kind of works off, but yeah, it just agitates me. So that is what I am working with, and that is why I'm not a big fan of these windows, and I kind of gave up with this no-see-um fight because there's cracks everywhere, and I can't find these cracks. You know what? I can't open anything. I can't open anything while I'm streaming right now, but post them in the comment section because right now, if I open that link up that you sent me at 1:57 p.m., it's gonna close the stream. But yeah, just post it in the comment section, Catherine. I'll check it out. Yeah, so here's the thing. So there is no building maintenance over here. There's nobody basic from what I've seen. There's no one cleaning the windows. There's no one sweeping the hallway. It just kind of like everybody just takes care of it themselves. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, it's not a bad building. It's just nobody from all signs. I don't see any window washers. I don't see anyone sweeping in front of the doors. Yeah. Um it just sucks, but yeah, it's kind of like and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, but I kind of feel like it's one of those, yeah, you pay money to live here and that's about it. Like it's kind of like you don't like there's no resident manager or something like that. Now keep in mind, right? In Hawaii, like the building that I live in Hawaii, it's not a luxury building at all. It's an old ass building from like the 1960s. And the building maintenance for that building is $804 a month if I remember correctly. Freaking crazy. You know, it's so expensive. All you basically get is a working elevator, a swimming pool, a little a little garden area if you're interested in that, and that's about it, and a parking space, and ta-da, $804 a month for all that crap. It's a total sham in my opinion. I don't it's so expensive. So yeah, the problem with that, I thought about getting a net, but because the cats come in and outside of the bed, you know, Oreo for instance, right? I can see Oreo clawing the nets trying to get out, and then I will have a net that the no-see-ums and a cat can go right through. Oreo, if he feels like he's getting trapped inside of a net, he's gonna whip out his nails or his claws or Blackberry Clinton, and it will not be a no-see-um proof net anymore. So yeah, Blackberry and Oreo always sleep with us every night. And I've also heard about using a fan. A fan works good for, killing these mosquitoes and these no-see-ums to kind of go away, because they're not strong flyers. That kind of works. That really does. It's winter. I don't want to keep a fan on right now. I'm so freaking cold. Like look at this stream. This is like the huddled blanket stream. It's a nice temperature underneath here, though. I would like to go throughout my whole day just inside of this blanket. It's so nice and comfortable. I don't know what temperature is inside, but it's pretty toasty underneath this blanket. Leftover bunkers? Well, here's the thing, no windows, no draft problems. How are we gonna breathe? How are you gonna breathe? You need to have oxygen in there somewhere. Kelly, you put too much faith into these cats. Oreo, if he wants to, he's just gonna claw it up. Oh, where is my handsome cat? Oreo! Oreo! I think he's sleeping in his cat bed. He might have reclaimed it back from Clinton, I'm not too sure. Oreo! 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 I don't know what kind of blanket this is. I think it's a down comforter. DOWN. I really, you know what? I love down comforters so much, but here's my thinking. Definitely take care of it and make sure you have a duvet cover on it. A duvet cover is basically like a big pillowcase for the comforter. And yeah, a down comforter can last you many years if you take care of it. And I think it's important to take care of your down stuff. I have down gloves, down comforter, down pillows, and uh, I definitely want to make sure that they last a really long time. I also have down winter jackets too. I get cold super easily, so this kind of stuff, this down stuff, really is worth it. I think a lot of down comforters are like about $90, but you figure if you use it for 3 months and it's $90, that's $1 a day. And if you have it basically year round, that is, less than $1 a day, less than 50 cents a day. And I think it's very important to invest in quality stuff if you think you're going to be using it often, or if you think that you can appreciate it a lot. So the things that I like to spend money on would be winter jacket, winter boots, winter gloves, comforter, sheets, in the sense that I want to make sure that they're good quality. They don't have to be like premium quality, but good quality sheets, good pillows, and yeah, but definitely take care of it. For sure. I know like Chinese people, they really like having this silk comforter. You guys might be familiar with it. Silk, SILK. Those things are like $300. But I I've slept with those before. They are really like a dream. Yeah, they are really wonderful, but it's just it's light and it's warm and it's cool depending on the weather. It's just really the perfect comforter. I would say perfect comforter, in my opinion, would either be like a silk comforter. Check that out. It's like type in like Chinese silk comforter. It's basically like a down comforter, but it has silk fibers inside of it. It's worth it. It would be that or down, but we have down. We don't have any need for a silk comforter, but yeah, I like silk comforters a lot. I had a friend. Um, actually, no. No, this wasn't my friend. I had one of my exes, his mom, listen to this. His mom was from China, right? So she was very familiar with the silk comforters, and she told me, she had a silk comforter, and like I said, those things are like $300, and she said that she had it, but here's the thing: she didn't use it because it was such a premium item, so she kept it inside of the packaging. And I thought to myself, hello there, handsome. Oreo, what was that? That was like 2 minutes for you to arrive. This is not that big of an apartment, Oreo. Come on. Come on, Oreo. Jump underneath the comforter with me. Come here. Look at this face. Oreo, come here. Here. Okay. Okay, Oreo. Come here, Oreo. Where are you going? Oreo. Oreo, come here. Oh, crap. Oreo, come here. Come here, Oreo. Come here, baby. Oreo's probably like, there's no space for me. Oreo, come on here. Okay, Oreo. It's just gonna be me, myself, and I then. But yeah, anyway, so what I was saying is, so she had a silk comforter that was from China. And I remember she proudly showed it to me, but she didn't use it herself because she considered it to be, too premium or too expensive. And I got to thinking to myself, like, what is the point of having such an expensive item if you don't use it? Like with the silk comforter, you can say like, yeah, I have a silk comforter and it's a expensive comforter, but if you don't use it because you don't feel like you want to use it, and if you don't sell it, then um it just becomes a an item that's just waste money. Yeah, I kind of think like, yeah, if people get items and they're, let's say, expensive items or they're a quality item, really you should use it, because if you're not using it, you're not enjoying that item as well. And it just yeah, it just kind of changed my perception about things. Like, I understand if you have something good, you want to save it and you think like, okay, I want to keep it, I want to keep it, I want to keep it. But if you just keep it and you don't use it, then it's like you don't have it. You see what I'm saying? I was like that actually one Halloween, okay? So I remember, this is going to sound crazy now. When I was in grade school, I had a friend and I went trick or treating with her. And I remember I had this like chica stick or something like that candy. And her dad said, "Oh, that's a really good candy." Now, this is like the first time I've ever seen that candy in my life. Chico stick or something like that. It's like an orangey candy of sorts. And I thought, "Oh, okay, I'll make sure I keep it." So I went through all my holiday candy and I had that one Chico stick on the side because I remember thinking like, "Oh, this is a really good candy." Before I could eat it, one of my family members ate it. So I just remember thinking to myself, like, I remember that feeling. I was like, I saved this chickle stick, and the chickle stick is gone because I didn't eat it. Now the family member who ate it probably thought to themselves like, oh, cool, a piece of candy. Let me just eat it. But they had no idea that I was saving that piece of candy. That one piece. It was like about this big, you guys. The chickle stick was this big, so it wasn't a big piece of chickle stick either. Um, but it was one of those things that I kind of remember in the back of my head about certain things. And that's why if there's something that you like, or you want to use, but you think like, oh yeah, I don't want to enjoy it now, I enjoy it later because it's too good or something like that, then I don't think it's a very good mindset to have if you never ever intend to if you're in that mindset, like you always want to save it and then maybe you don't ever want to use it, because that's just kind of like hoarding, right? That's just hoarding, and you're not enjoying the item. So for my ex's mom, I wouldn't be surprised if she never ever used that silk comforter because of the kind of woman she was. She was that kind of woman where, let me put it this way. If any of you guys think I'm frugal, she is way more, she's cheap, but she's cheaper than cheap. She is the cheapest woman I have ever met in my entire life. And yeah, geez Louise, yeah, it's like some of the stuff that she would do, it would just be, it would, even I wouldn't do that. So for instance, right, she had a homemade curtain, and then the cat scratched it. So what she did is that she got a t-shirt and then she patched it up using bits of t-shirt. And then she broke, I guess her laundry basket, which was over, I think, 15 years old, broke, and it split kind of in three pieces, like three big chunks. Like the bottom part of it was not stable, and what she did is she got twine, and then she kind of basically did all these like knots and tried to hold it together with string. And I remember thinking to myself, like, wow, why doesn't she just buy a new one already? Why is she spending so much time making all these little knots? And it's not it's because the reason why the thing broke is because it was structurally old. You see where I'm getting at? So the plastic itself was, sometimes if you have plastic, it gets brittle over time. And then if you hold laundry, if you have like brittle old plastic, it just inevitably breaks. Like, she was trying to salvage the crap out of this laundry basket. And I was just thinking to myself, holy crap. So what I did is there was like a college move out, and then I used to hit those places up, and when there was a college move out there was like a whole bunch of laundry baskets. So I gave her several laundry baskets, and then I gave her a blow dryer, and I think I gave her like two or three blow dryers, and she was super thankful for that. But yeah, it's like things like that. It's like I believe in saving money, but I think also you shouldn't willingly deprive yourself in that manner. Like if you feel like you don't want to treat yourself to a better item because possibly you don't feel like you're worth it, or open a better item because you're worth it, it's not good. So yeah, yeah, it was just it's I you guys know that I'm a big stooper. You guys know I go dumpster diving, but like her, she was the cheapest woman I have ever met in my life. And yeah, it was just, yeah, like she would save, I like this too. She would save, like the washing machine water. She used to wash her clothes, and then she would save all the laundry water. She would actually divert the water, okay? She would divert like her Tide water, and then she would water her fruits and vegetables with it. And I thought to myself, like, no, you're not supposed to water. You're not supposed to grow fruits and vegetables using, detergent water. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like the soapy water you have when you run laundry. The stuff that drains out into the drain. Yeah, so she had a setup where I guess it fed into something else, and she would divert it into 5-gallon buckets, and then she would lug the 5-gallon buckets and water plants with it. And I would think to myself, like, yeah, I don't think that's healthy to grow root vegetables using Tide water and then eat those root vegetables. You get what I'm saying? So, um, yeah, but and she was old too. She was about like in her mid 60s, and you guys know how heavy carrying pails of 5-gallon buckets of water is. Like that stuff is not light to carry even for me. So she was physically straining herself to lug these 5-gallon buckets of water to water her plants when she definitely has a hose. She definitely has a setup to water her plants, but she chose to just use this Tide water to water her plants. So, yeah, she had soapy plants, let's put it that way. Yeah, no, she would use the laundry water, the soapy water, all the water actually. But I was just like, oh, yeah. So, yeah, so it's just like there's a fine line between being frugal and being cheap, and for her, I just like when I think about it, it's good to save money. Like don't get me wrong, I think it's very important to save money, but I also think, there are cost saving ways that you probably don't really need to undertake. You don't need to be like penny, what's it called, like what, like you save a penny but then you don't see the bigger picture kind of thing. So yeah, that was my thinking about it. And then her some of her plants, like they wouldn't grow very well, and I would just think to myself, oh, it's probably because the Tide water was not doing it for them. You see what I'm getting at? And I kind of wondered about the I just kind of thought, like, I don't know how a plant would develop well if you're watering with that. Yeah, penny pinching, yeah. So she was the cheapest woman I have ever known. And yeah, some of the things, some of the things I keep in mind, but then other things I'm just like, man, even I would not do that for sure. Um, I remember that she would what else would she do? Yeah, she was just very, very, very very, 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 very cheap. Very cheap. Yeah. And yeah, I just feel like it's just sad that, like the stuff that she already had, like she didn't use it. And I think that if you have something, then oh yeah, you should definitely use it. Because if you just keep it in your closet and you don't use it, then it's not really a good use of money, or it's not a good use of a present. So yeah. Anyway, I have been under this blanket for almost an hour. I thought it was only going to be a short stream, but I've been here a lot longer than I thought I was going to be. It's kind of surprising how quickly time can fly with how quickly it's funny how quickly time can fly when you're in bed and you're nice and warm and comfortable. Did she have plastic coated furniture? No, but what she did do is that she didn't cover her. Oh, I forgot about this. Okay. Oh, I forgot about this. So she didn't coat her furniture in plastic. However, she was really big on preserving her furniture. So what she would do is she would put bedcloths over her furniture, and have making sure she multi-stacked stuff on her table. So she would have like padding. She would have like a small table that was made out of real wood. I mean, beautiful table, don't get me wrong, beautiful table. But she would put like padding on top of the table, and then on top of that she would put like a tablecloth. And then I remember she would tell me very proudly how nice the table was underneath, but you can't even tell because it has this tablecloth over it and all this layers of stuff. And then uh she put, like I said, she put in like bedcloth or a bed sheet over all the furniture in an attempt to protect it. So she was really big on protecting her furniture. I remember that very distinctively. And then but she also took a lot of pride of this, how it looked like underneath all that protection. But if you keep a bed sheet over your couch, you can't really tell how nice the couch is naturally if you have a bed sheet over it at all times. You get what I'm saying? So that was my thinking about it. Yeah, you're using the stuff on top of the furniture. Yeah, I mean, like, it was a nice table, but it's like nobody could ever tell it was a nice table because of all like the protective padding. I think she like magazines or cardboard, and that was on top of the table, and then on top of the magazines or the cardboard, she had a tablecloth, so it was like double protection for that. Yeah, so she was really big on protecting her furniture. And but she was very cheap in the sense that, oh my goodness, like, this is something that would annoy me. Okay, so she would pick up white paint, and I have no problem with people picking up white paint, but she would pick up like various shades of white paint, and then she would paint the apartment. She would paint the house with these different shades of white to give it a touch up. But the problem is that she did these really thick paint coats. So it would get like really chunky. You know what I'm talking about? Like when you paint coat after coat after coat after coat, and then you paint over handles or hinges, it's like, no, 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 you're not supposed to do that kind of thing. Yeah, I remember thinking, I was like, why is she painting over the hardware? Like, you're not supposed to be painting over a door hinge. You're supposed to be taping this thing. Yeah. Um, so yeah, that was, no, it's, uh, you can't see anything. It's not going to show up on my camera. It's too fine, actually. But yeah, I remember that, like, that was the thing that I remember about her. And then when she would paint, it would be like the room would be one shade of white, and then the other wall would be a different shade of white, and then it'd be this gloppy white paint. And I remember thinking to myself, like, oh gosh, she needs some painter tape or something, or just be like really chunky. Like I said, it's like really goopy, white, thick paint on stuff. It's like thick layers of it, really thick layers. Like, you're tempted to put trying to hit it with your fingernails to see if it leaves the indentation, kind of thick paint sort of thing. But yeah, Anyway, so when I look at that, I think, the importance of just having cohesiveness and everything. She saved a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. She saved so much money, but I can't help but think that she kind of made herself a little miserable about certain things because she was just so hyper focused on saving money. Like I said, out of every person that I've known in my life, she is by far the cheapest person I've ever met. Really, really, really cheap. Really cheap. Yeah. I'm not even that cheap. So, yeah. Anyway, so most likely either later today I'm gonna go over to Manhattan. I think I'm gonna go over to Manhattan because I have to work out. Tomorrow I most likely will be doing the unboxing stream. Of the jewelry box that Jim sent me. I finally cracked it open, and I think tomorrow's gonna be the day. I don't feel like doing an unboxing stream today. My throat kind of sucks. I think you guys can kind of tell my throat sucks. My throat has been giving me issues for a while. I think it's something to do with like the temperature, because I just feel like everything's just sucking the moisture out. Like the air is cold, and yeah, it's like when I wake up, the air doesn't feel moisturized. It just feels dry. So yeah, the unboxing. Yeah. So I unlocked it. I haven't opened it yet, so I don't know what's inside there. I heard there's supposed to be some kind of creepy looking brooch. And if you guys see the creepy looking brooch, then who knows? Maybe it's cursed. If anything happens like Final Destination, we'll see. We'll see. Just blame Jim for that if I end up any nightmares from the creepy looking brooch. But I don't know. And we'll see how creepy looking the creepy looking brooch is. I'm kind of curious to see that. And yeah, I think I'm really excited to see how that creepy looking brooch is. Roblox. No. If you hear any tapping, that's just Lewis talking, tapping on the computer right now. But yeah, I'm gonna get up. I need to clean up around the house. I was so freaking cold that I was like, oh, I need to stay underneath my this little comforter right now. Highly recommend if any of you guys are cold during this winter and you guys need a really good blanket. I really like having down comforters. I like having them on year round. I don't know, I get cold easily. But down comforters are my favorite. You could also look into one of those Chinese silk comforters. I don't know which one's good to buy, but the silk comforters are really luxurious, like really luxurious. Like if I had an option between the down comforter and the silk one, which one would I pick? I would pick the silk one. But the silk one, yeah, we don't have a use for it because we already have a down comforter. But the silk ones are just amazing. They're really amazing. I just love those silk comforters so much. Like I said, the way crap. The way that they're made is it's basically like a big block of silk fibers inside of it. And I think the block is usually about half an inch thick or so. So imagine like a queen size comforter with a half-inch block of silk fibers inside of it. So it's not heavy, but it's very comforting. Like the weight is very comforting. And yeah, I really, really like them. I don't think I've ever seen any of those Chinese silk comforters in person. The people that I've known had those Chinese silk comforters, they bought it from China or they knew people in China who got it for them. It's not really an American thing. Maybe you can find it somewhere like in Chinatown, but I've never seen it in Hawaii. Yeah, I've never checked IKEA yet. Yeah, so tomorrow I'm gonna be doing a stream for sure on the jewelry box, and I'll post in the community post what time most likely I'm gonna do it. I'm thinking probably around between 3 to 6 p.m. For the unboxing, probably around there, 3 to 6 p.m. Yeah, New York time. So I will talk to you guys later. I need to get back to someone um, about an item. So I'll talk to you later and stay warm. See ya.